Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome senior producer at Time Play Entertainment and founder of Downloadable Change, Jamison Selby.
Hi! So we're all here talking about using games to affect social change of one kind or another. And I'm going to focus in on using games to reinvent nonprofit fundraising. I'm going to try and start these wonderful slides. Go! Go! Magic, I tell you, go! Perfect. That worked well. We're off to a rolling start. So, I'm talking about reinventing nonprofit fundraising and Downloadable Change, and how exactly we go about doing that. Let's see if they get this one. There we go. Now, the first thing we need to do is answer this question. What is DLC? So DLC is downloadable content. It's digital media content delivered to the end user via the internet, sold for a set price or offered up for free as a marketing promotion. Nice and simple. Now, DLC comes in all shapes and sizes, right? It can be just about anything. It might be a fancy tie-in to a big Hollywood blockbuster. It could be new quests and new adventures for a AAA title. It could be something that expands the storylines of a game, or it could be something that actually reinvents the game itself entirely. Or it might be as simple as furniture for The Sims, or new songs for Rock Band. And you may not even need to download anything at all. And that brings us to DLC's fun online cousins, virtual goods. Now these are created for online usage, right? They can be anything. It might be new armor for your paladin in Warcraft, or cool clothes for your avatar in Second Life, or anything you've ever purchased in Farmville. These are intangible items. They have no intrinsic value whatsoever, only the perceived value placed upon them by the player. The thing is, perceived value can be a very, very powerful thing. Last year, an Entropia Universe player sold his virtual space station for $535,000. That's not bad, right? Unless you consider the fact that the station orbits planet Calypso, and that was purchased this past April for $6 million. The virtual economy is very, very real. So what would it be worth to keep your Farmville crops from ever withering? Ever. Well, last year, Farmville offered up the Unwither ring for Valentine's Day. $40. Is it worth it? It's the perception of value that's the key. So games are going to bring in $91 billion worldwide each year by 2015. The virtual goods market in the US alone is going to top $1.6 billion this year. That's a 40% increase since 2010. There is a lot of money being made in this economy. So, can we leverage this economy to benefit nonprofits? What can we do with it? That's what I founded Downloadable Change to do. Now, our mission is to empower gamers to make the world a better place, one game at a time. And our method is to encourage game developers and producers to include charity-based content in their games. Now, can this be done? Can they be talked into doing this? And if you're here this morning, obviously you know some of the big guys are already testing the waters. Now, Zynga, as we heard, raised $1.5 million in the Sweet Seeds for Haiti campaign, and they did it in 5 days. And then they donated 50% of the money. So they actually donated $1.5 million to charity, and they profited $1.5 million at the same time. That's not bad. Blizzard jumped into the waters as well with the Panda and Monk campaign. And just like Zynga, they donated 50% of the money, and they kept the other half. And they turned that into a $1.1 million check for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That is actually a pretty good deed. And they made a pretty tidy profit while they did it. So, what happened this year? Something changed. Zynga launched a new campaign. This time they raised $2.5 million from player donations for the Japanese tsunami and earthquake victims. And they donated all of it. 100% of the funds raised from the players went directly to charity. So what happened? What changed from last year to this year? Well, I'm going to say that they have discovered that in this arena, Good works are good for the bottom line. In this arena, you can take part. Engaging in charitable virtual campaigns will actually increase profits by adding new players and new purchases without cannibalizing your existing revenue streams. And the publicity that you raise and the goodwill doesn't hurt either. And that stimulates additional long-term profits and increases player acquisition and retention over the long term. So, what can we do with all this? How can we leverage the virtual economy to... Oh, we're behind in the slides here. We'll catch up for a second. There we go. So what can we do with all this? How can we bring charities together? How can we turn this into something? Can other companies, besides the big boys, actually take part in charitable campaigns? And the key to that is matchmaking. You need to match the thematic elements of the charity to that of the game. So, I'm going to burn through these as fast as we can. Connectimals and ASPCA. There's an obvious link here. Families might buy one for their kids, and they also might donate to the ASPCA. Call of Duty. Some people think that might not work for charities, and it might not for some, but the Air Force Aid Society is a natural match for Call of Duty. Fallout. How about water.org? A perfect match and a perfect partnership. There is a match for everyone, for every charity. Even crazy militaristic squirrels with guns and an attitude have a charity just for them. So what now? This brings me to my challenge for all of you. And the thing that I want to pass on to all of you today, and that is one game, one change. So what does that mean? It is a pledge, a challenge, and a call to action. And so I challenge all of you, all of the developers who are here today, and everyone who hears this later on down the line. I challenge you and make you this challenge. Include one piece each year of charity-based content in every game you release that leverages the virtual economy. And to players, the challenge extends to you. If you are an avid player of a game and they launch a charity campaign, take part. You can change the world one game at a time. If you do that, you really can play a game and save the world for real. Thank you very much.
He's a game